Hello everyone, welcome to our third lecture series in STL for competitive programming. So, doing competitive programming without STL is somehow worthless. I don't mean that you have to use STL in every CP question, but using these STLs in CP will decrease the time complexity of a question and also it will reduce your time to code it. So, in last lecture we have seen about sequential containers. And today we are going to see about associative containers. So first question arises, why these containers are called associative containers? Because associative containers are the variable size containers that suppose to efficient retrieval of an element based on the key. So in these containers each element have key value and map value. So first of all we are going to see about set. So first there are some basic properties regarding set. It means every element in set is unique. Also each element is assorted in ascending order. It means if we give input in random order, it will finally give us our output as a ascending order. And the third and most important property of set is that we can use elements for read only. We cannot override the elements. These are the few functions. Somehow all the time complexity of first four functions is O of 1, whereas the time complexity of insert function is O of n. So we will show this. We will go in depth of these functions during code. So first is begin. The working of this function is very simple. It will give the position of an iterator pointing to the first element of the set. Syntax is also very easy. In syntax we have to first give set name dot begin. As I said before, the time complexity of this function is O of 1. Second function is end. It will return an iterator pointing to the element which is last element of our set. Its time complexity is also O of 1. Next function is size. Its syntax is similar to the end and begin function. It will return and total size of our set. Next function is empty. Its time complexity is also O of 1. It will tell us that whether the set is empty or not. We will see the code of all these functions next. Fourth function is insert. It will insert an element into our set, but it will check before whether the element is present in our set or not. It means it will avoid duplication of an element. Its time complexity is O of n. In this we have to pass value which we have to insert in our set. Next function is erase. There are two types of parameter which we can use for these functions. The first function we have to use the value as a parameter which we want to delete from the set, and in second function we use iterator as a parameter for the deleting an element from the container of our set. Its time complexity is O of n. Sixth function is find function. So its time complexity is log n. As we can see, it will find an element whether it is present or not in our container. So basically set uses binary tree data structure. That's why its time complexity is log n. Next function is count. It will tell us whether the element is present in our set or not. It will return 1 if it is present, otherwise it will return 0. Its time complexity is O of n. So let's see the code. Just ignore these first three lines. It is just for input and output. Okay. So in our code we have to include these bits /stdc++ .h. By including these in our code, will include all the STL functionalities in our program. So syntax for set is very simple. This is syntax for set. Between these parent arrows, we have to declare the data type which we want to store in our set. So I use this for loop to give input to insert element in our set. So this is a syntax for insertion of an element into the set. So first I give in as a 10, and I insert these 10 elements in our set as the next is, this is an syntax for iterator. We have to declare an iterator to traverse our set. Okay, let's see what it will print. Let me compile and run the code. Yes, as you can see that there are only 5 elements, and I give input as 10 elements. So it remove all duplications of every element, and it also printed in ascending order. If we want to store elements in descending order, we have to change the syntax for our set. There is very small change. We have to include this greater int in our set syntax. It will store elements in descending order. So let me compile and run the code again. Yes, as we can see that 7 comes first, then 6, 5, 3, 2, 1. It store element in descending order. Let me comment it out first. Okay. So next function is size function. As I said before, it will return a size of a set. So now size of our set is 5. Let's see what happens. Sorry, size of set is 6. So there are 6 elements present in our set. That's why size of set is 6. Yes, sorry. Next function is find function. It will return an iterator pointing to the element which we have passed through parameter. So we passed 5 as a parameter, so it will return an iterator pointing to the element 5, and I use star, that's why it will print an element which is present at that iterator. So 5 is present in our STL container, set container, that's why it will print 5 as a value. So value of an iterator will be 5. Yes. Okay. Next function is count function. As I said before, count function will return 3 if element is present in our count function will return 1 if element is present in our set, otherwise it will return 0. So 3 is present in our set, that's why it will return 1. So this if condition will be true, and 3 is present in set will print it. Let's see what happened. Let me compile code. Yes, as usual 3 is present in our set. Next function is erase. So it will delete an element from our set. So I am going to erase 3 from set, and next, to check whether it is deleted or not, I am again going to use count function. So this time it will print 3 is absent in set. Let's see what happens. Let me compile. Yes, as we can see that 3 is absent in set now. So next two functions are very commonly useful in our competitive programming, which are lower bound and upper bound. The syntax for lower bound is set name dot lower bound, and as a parameter we have to pass key. In set, key value and map value both are same, so we can pass value also. The time complexity of this is O of n, and it works like it returns an iterator pointing to element which has equivalent value as a key. In case if key is not present, then it returns immediate next element which is greater than the key. So as we can see that as we have deleted 3 from the container, so 3 is absent now. So I want lower bound of 3. So in this so it will return an iterator pointing to element which is just greater than 3, because 3 is not present in our container now. So it will return 5 as output. Let's check what happens. Let me compile the code and run. As you can see that lower bound is 5 now. Next is upper bound. It returns an iterator pointing to immediate next element which is greater than the key. So again I am going to run the code. This time I pass 2 as a parameter. So the element which is just greater than 2 is 5 now, because 3 is already deleted from our set. So it will return an iterator pointing to element 5, and I am going to print the value at that iterator by using star. So let me compile and run the code again. Yes, upper bound of 2 is 5. It's correct. Next function is an ImPlace. So its syntax is very similar to insert function, and working is also similar. It insert a new element into the container, but the time complexity of ImPlace function is log n, whereas the time complexity of insert function is O of n. So what's the difference between insert and ImPlace? So basically ImPlace, while inserting an element into the container, it will create new object and simultaneously it going to insert into set, whereas insert function, first it will create a new object, then it is going to insert into the container. This is very small difference, but it affects the time complexity. So this time I am going to insert 100 in our set, and again I am going to print the complete set. Let me compile. As you can see that 100 is appended in our set. Next function is clear. It will delete all elements present in our set. So finally the size becomes 0 as we delete all elements from our set. Let's see. So as we can see that size of set is 0. Okay. So our next container is multiset. It is similar to the set, but the only difference is that they can have multiple elements of same value. For example, in this set 2 comes twice, 7 also comes twice. So there are many questions in which we want to the count of element is same as given, and also we want to generate element we want to arrange the elements in ascending order. At that time multiset is very useful. So and also the various functionalities between set and multiset are very similar. So let's see the code. For the syntax of the multiset, we have to just include this multi as a prefix before the syntax of the set, and in iterator also we have to include this. So I give this input. Let me run the code. Let's see what it gives out. Let me compile it again. As you can see that the size of the set is now 10, and also in our set there are duplicate values, and all the time complexities of set and multiset are quite similar. So I'm not going to explain you all the functions regarding multiset. It is very similar, you can also learn it. So our next container is map. there are some properties of map. The first property is each element has key value and map value, and every key is unique. Also, the key is sorted in ascending order. So basic functionalities of map are insert, count, erase, lower bound and upper bound. Let's see one by one. The first function is insert. Its syntax is very similar to the set function. Just in this we have to give two values as a parameter. It means we have to pass value which we have to map to this key. Its time complexity is of 1, so which is very less. It means according to the set. Next function is count. In this we have to pass key as a parameter. It will return 1 if key is present in our map, otherwise it will return 0. Next function is erase. There are 3 types of parameter which we can use in erase function. First we can use key as a parameter which we want to delete from our container. In next function we can use iterator position which we want to delete from our container. So it will delete an element which has same iterator as a parameter. Third type is we can give the range of an iterator which we want to delete, and all these functions have time complexities of 1. Let's see the code about map. This is the syntax for map, where integer is a mapped value to the string as a key. So here key is a string and map value is integer. So I insert these some 4 elements in our map. So in first I have mapped 07 to the Yash, which is string, 9 to the Ashish, similarly to Bhushan and Bhuvan. So to print the output or to print the elements which are present in our map, I have to declare an iterator. For that, this is syntax is used to declare an iterator. Let me comment the below code. Okay. To print the first position to us, it means we have to, if we want to print the key value, so we have to give iterator arrow first, and to print the map value we have to give iterator arrow second. It means second value is map value and first value is key. So let's run. In this we don't have to give input file, so I will delete. Let's run the code. As we can see that output comes, it is sorted in ascending order, so alphabetically. It means Ashish comes first, then Bhushan, then Bhuvan. So it sorted according to the key value. Okay. So if I insert a key which is already present in our container, then it will not going to insert in it. For example, if I am going to insert Yash as a key which is already present in our set, as we can see that I map 07 to the Yash. So let's see what happens if I am going to insert it again. Let me compile the code again. Yes, it is finished. As we can see that Yash has 7 as a map value, so it is not going to insert 45 because Yash has a key which is already present in our container. That's why it is not going to insert it again. So let me comment it out. Next function is an erase. So I pass Bhuvan as a key, Bhuvan as a parameter which is key, so it will delete an element which has key Bhuvan from the container. Let me print the elements of the container. So I will compile and run the code again. Sorry. As we can see that the element which has key bool is deleted from our container after erasing from map. This is our output. So next function is find function. So in this we have to pass a parameter as a key value. So Ashish is a key, so we have mapped 9 value to Ashish, so it will return an iterator pointing to the key Ashish. And in next I am going to erase an iterator from the container. It means I am going to delete an element which has key value Ashish. So new map will become, sorry, there is some mistake. Okay, new map will like this. Let me compile code. As you can see that Bhushan and Yash, so I deleted Ashish from an map. It is very easy. And mp.size, it will give an size of an map. It means we can, so the output will become 2 now, I think. Yes, the size of map is 2, right? Next function is lower bound. In this we have to pass key as a parameter. Its time complexity is log n. It returns an iterator pointing to element which has equivalent value as a key. In case if key is not present, then it returns an immediate next element which is just greater than the key. So for that I will comment out the above code which is not useful for the function for lower bound, and I will uncomment this code. So here I am going to make new map in which key is also integer and value is also integer. So I map 12 to 2, 10 to 1, and now I am going to print the map element. Let's see what it will give. Yes, we can see that it is sorted according to key value. 1 comes first, then 2, 3, 4. So lower bound of 3 will return an iterator pointing to element which has key value as a 3. So iterator arrow, itr arrow first will return a key value which is 3, and itr arrow second will return 40. So let's see what happens. Let me compile the code and run. As you can see that lower bound of 3 is this 3 and 40. Next function is an upper bound. Its time complexity is log n. It returns an iterator pointing to immediate next element which is greater than the key. So I pass 3 as a parameter. So element which has key value greater than 3 is 4, I guess. Yes, so it will print 4 and 50. Let's see what happens. Let me compile and run the code. As we can see that upper bound of 3 is 4 and 50. Okay, this is all about map. Next we are going to see multimap. It is similar to map, but only difference is that they can have multiple elements of the same key. For example, as we can see that here the value of key which is 1 comes twice, also 2 is also come twice. In map we cannot assign the same key value to element which is present in our map. So I will show you the code. The syntax of multi-map is very similar to the multi-set. We have to give prefix multi before map, syntax of our map. So I created multi-map of name MP, and I'm going to insert all these elements, and I will print the elements of the map. Okay. Also I have to change the iterator, which is multi-maps iterator. And if now I'm going to insert Yash into our multi-map, I think it will insert in it, because in multi-map we can have elements of same key. So as I said before, Yash is already present in our container. Again, if now we are going to again try to insert in it, then it will, I think it will insert. So let's run the code. Let's see what happens. Yes, we can see that Yash having value 45 is inserted in our container, and all functionalities of multi-map and map are similar. Next is unordered associative containers. So in this we are going to see unordered set, unordered multi-set, unordered map, unordered multi-map. So what is difference between associative containers and unordered associative containers? As I told you, in associative containers the elements are most probably sorted in ascending order. We can also sort it in descending order also, there is no problem. But in unordered associative containers it is I think sorted in initial it is not sorted. Okay, elements in unordered associative containers are randomly arranged. So first we are going to see unordered set. So the properties of unordered set, as usual, the elements in a set are unique. The most important property is that insertion, deletion and searching have time complexity of O of 1, whereas the time complexity of in associative containers of set is O of n. So it makes difference. Syntax for unordered set is very easy. We have to explicitly give unordered and it is set name. So why to use unordered set over set? Because in various competitive programming questions we have to deal with time complexities and all. So the time complexity of unordered set is of 1, which is constant. So it will also reduce our time complexity of code, and so that's why it is very useful, and because it is very fast. Okay, let's see the code. This is syntax for unordered set. We have to give unordered explicitly before set syntax. Then I will delete this output file. So now I'm going to give 10 elements into the set, and it is random. Okay, 3 3 6. Yes, okay. So this is an syntax for iterator of unordered set, which is similar to the set. The only difference is that we have to explicitly give unordered underscore. Okay, let me comment it out. So I'm going to give 10 elements into the set. These are the 10 elements. So let's see what it will give as output. Let me compile code. As you can see that 7815294, so it delete all duplicates element and it arrange itself in any random order. It means it is not sorted. In set we have seen that it is by default sorted in ascending order, but it is not in unordered set, it is random. I forget to comment this line, that's why a count of 3 is 0 it says. So let me compile the code again. Yes, okay. Next function is find function. We have to pass I pass 100 as a parameter, but 100 is not present in our set, so it will print element not found, because this function will return an iterator pointing to 100, which is not present. It means it is at the end of the set, so this condition will become false because iterator is not present in our set. So this line will be printed. Let's see. Let me compile code again. As you can see that element not found. Next function is erase function. So I am going to erase 5 from our container, and then I am going to print the elements of the container. Let's see what happens. Let me compile the code and run. We can see that 5 is deleted from our container. Okay. Next function is size. It will return the complete size of our container. Okay. The syntax is very similar to the sets size syntax. Let me compile. As you can see that size of set is 6. 1 2 3 4 5 6. Okay, yes, it is right. Next function is count function. So I pass 3 as a parameter. So because 3 is not present in our set, it will return 0. If 3 is present in our set, it will return 1. So let me compile code. The output will be 0. Yes, as we can see that count of 3 is 0. So it's all about unordered set. Next is unordered multiset. The properties of unordered multisets are: elements are not unique. Insertion, deletion and searching have complexity of 1, which is similar to the unordered set, and syntax is also very similar of unordered multiset. Let's see the code. So as I said before, we have to just give prefix multi in for the unordered multiset. Also we have to change the iterator, syntax of iterator, and yes, it's all done. Okay, let me comment it out. Sorry. So I'm going to insert all these elements again. Let me delete the output file. So let's see what it will give as output. Let me run the code. So as we can see that it is randomly it is randomly arranged, and there are duplications. We can see that 2 comes twice and all. This is very small difference between unordered multiset and unordered set. Okay, and all the functionalities like find, count, erase are same. So I am not going to explain it in detail. Okay, because of the time complexity of unordered multiset and set is of 1, they are preferably used in most of competitive coding questions, because if we are going to use ordered set or multiset, its time complexity is of n, whereas unordered multiset and set have time complexity of 1. Okay, next is unordered map. These are some properties of unordered map. First one is each element has key value and map value, which is similar to the ordered map. Each key is unique. It is also similar. This is implemented using red black tree data structure, which comes in advanced data structure. Okay, the insertion, deletion and searching have complexity of O of 1, which is very useful in competitive programming. The syntax for unordered set is unordered map, sorry, this is by mistake. The syntax for unordered map is like this. Okay, let's see the code. Unordered map. Okay, as you can see that I created unordered map which has integer as map value, and I am going to map it to the key having the data type string. So 7 is mapped with Yash, 9 is mapped with Ashish, 100 is mapped with Bhuvan. Similarly, all this is an syntax for iterator of unordered map. Okay, so I will let this input and output. Let me compile code again. Yes, as you can see that it is arranged randomly. We come first, then Yash. Before that, in ordered map, we give output as alphabetical order, whereas in unordered map we get output randomly. So in this we can also update the key. Okay, if now I'm going to update Ashish, sorry, which has mapped with 9. Now I'm going to map with 45. Let's see what happens. Now again I'm going to print the elements of the map. Let's see what happens. Let me compile code again. As you can see that Ashish is updated. Before it was 9. Now it becomes 45. So this is one more property. Next is find function. It will return an iterator pointing to the key having value Yash. Also yes, if it is not present, this syntax means if it is present in the map, it is going to erase it, otherwise it is not going to erase. So after deleting, the output will become, let's see what happens. Let me compile code. As you can see that Yash is, I think Yash is related from element container. Abhi, Bhuvan, Ashish. Yash is deleted from our container. Yes. If I pass a value which is not present in our container, then it will return an iterator pointing to end of the map. Let's see. Let's take an example. If I'm going to delete an element which has key value Raju, then it will return end of the. It will point to end of the map. This means this condition is going to fail, so it is not going to delete any element from the container. And then if I'm going to print elements of the container, let's see what happens. Let me compile code again. Yes, as we can see that after deleting key, as Raju was not present in our container, that's why it returned an iterator pointing to end of our map. So this condition is fail, that's why nothing is going to delete. So this is about unordered map. Next is unordered multi-map. The all properties of unordered map and multi-map are quite similar. There is only one change, which is there are multiple elements which have same key value. Okay, and insertion deletion all have time complexities of 1, that's why it is used more often. Syntax is very similar, we have to just give prefix multi, also for iterator also. And let me comment code and run the code again. Yes, as we can see that, so I have to insert again because I am going to insert Yash, which is already present in our container. If I'm going to insert it in it, then it will insert successfully, I think, because we are going to use multi-map instead of map. So let me run the code again. So as we can see that Yash is inserted having map value 45. The remaining functions like find, erase all work similarly as a unordered map. So we have covered all the functions which are more often used in competitive programming. So in next video we are going to see how to use these containers while solving the competitive coding questions. So till then, stay tuned. Thank you.